Okay, well, it's 7 o'clock and we'll get the show started here. Welcome, everyone. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We're glad you're able to join us here this evening to hear about our Southern Charm Tour. My name is Cindy Erickson, and I'm going to be facilitating the webinar here this evening. And we're going to have a pop-up soon appear on your screen. And if you're viewing us online, you can simply make a selection indicating your answer. And if you're viewing us on Facebook, unfortunately, the pop-up will not appear, but you can send us a quick email to information@westworldtours.com or hit your message button now and let us know. So we'll get that pop-up here ready for you shortly. There you go. So have you traveled with Westworld Tours before? A simple yes or no. And we'll just give you all a chance to put in your input, and then let's share some of the results with you here. Okay, it looks like a really close split here. We've got about 55% of you have traveled with Westworld Tours before. That's great. We're glad you're able to join us, and we really look forward to welcoming you back on board with us again. And it looks like about 45% of you have never traveled with us before. Well, we certainly hope we can welcome you aboard soon. And thank you again for joining us this evening. Okay, so just a couple of house cleaning issues here for you. So we do have everybody on mute. And if you would like to ask a question, we encourage you to do so. So please type your questions into the Q&A box located at the bottom of your screen. And again, if you've joined us on Facebook, you can type your question into the comments section. And we really do welcome your questions at any time throughout the presentation. And we'll answer as many as we can at the end of our presentation this evening. So we will have another pop-up here soon on your screen. Again, if you're viewing us online, you can simply make your selection. And if you're viewing us on Facebook, again, the pop-up will not display, but you can certainly send us a quick email to information@westworldtours.com or hit the message button now and include your email address. What we would like to know is if you would like to sign up for our email newsletter. You will get invites to future presentations as well as timely information on new tours. You can unsubscribe at any time. You won't be inundated with emails, and you may be receiving a few more than normal right now as we're keeping everybody up to date on our virtual presentation series. So yes, you can sign up for Westworld Tours and Women Explorers, or you can sign up for simply Westworld Tours, or you can sign up for Women Explorers. And if you're already receiving them, you can make a little selection there as well. And if you wouldn't like to receive them, you can just simply hit no thank you. Again, thank you for participating in that poll. So about us, Westworld Tours. As Western Canada's premier motor coach tour company, Westworld Tours has been serving Canadians from coast to coast with escorted travel throughout North America and around the world since 2000. We celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. We offer quality components to all our tours, including modern, comfortable coaches, professional tour directors, experienced, courteous drivers, baggage handling, and excellent accommodations. Our tours include all the sites and attractions important to our clients. We also provide several meals throughout the tour. Thousands of passengers have chosen Westworld Tours' first-class style of touring and enjoying the great value, security, and stress-free environment, all while making new friendships along the way. And we receive a high level of satisfaction from our passenger surveys, and I know our tour directors love seeing familiar faces on tours. Today's world has changed, but Westworld Tours remains committed to traveler safety and providing peace of mind while traveling. While COVID-19 continues to change our environment, we are doing all that we can to adapt to the new requirements and expectations. We've introduced an enhanced health and safety protocols to keep our guests safe while traveling with us. The well-being of our travelers and our team have always been and always will be our primary concern. As some of you may already know, we are proud to have provided refunds in full for all of our travelers on canceled tours. After all, it is your money. You should decide when and where to travel, not us. And you can refer to our website at westworldtours.com for most up-to-date COVID-19 travel-related policies. And before we jump into the Southern Charm presentation with Leanne, I am going to tell you about our upcoming presentations that we have for the remainder of September. On September 15th at 7:00 p.m., we'll be presenting our Branson Quilters Tour, which is very exciting out there for all of the quilters that we may have watching us this evening. And then on September 22nd at 7:00 p.m., it's our Newfoundland and Labrador Tour, our ever popular Newfoundland and Labrador Tour. And our tour director, Carrie Carpenter, will be joining us that evening to tell us all about Newfoundland and Labrador. So let's get busy here with our Southern Charm tour. So the Southern Charm is conjuring images of plantations and magnolias, sweet tea in the sea. You'll take on the leisurely pace and charming appeal of the South as you explore oak-lined streets, inviting pillared porches and unspoiled coastline. Savor the delectable low-country cuisine and follow moss-covered oaks to the endless delights awaiting in the genteel South. This Southern U.S. tour starts in Charlotte, North Carolina, before heading into the Spanish moss-draped coasts of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. You will explore Myrtle Beach, discover antebellum Charleston, the famed squares of storied Savannah, and uncover the history in America's oldest city, St. Augustine, Florida. You can experience the unique charm and singular hospitality of America's Low Country, the perfect place to realize a newfound love of shrimp and grits, she crab soup, and fried green tomatoes. As you can see, there are many inclusions on this tour. All accommodations, transportation, activities, and attractions listed are included. We have done some we do have some free time built into the tour, and your guide will be more than happy to make suggestions and arrange activities to fill your time if you wish. We have also included daily breakfast, along with a few lunches and dinners. So at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Leanne House, our director at Westworld Tours, who will take you on a journey through our new Southern Charm tour. Welcome, Leanne.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Cindy.
All right, we're really looking forward to hearing about this new exciting tour. I know I love the South, having traveled to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful and charming. So anyway, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you, Cindy. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. So on your screen now, you'll see that we've included a map to help you visualize where you will be traveling to on this tour. So you'll fly into Charlotte, North Carolina, before traveling south and east into South Carolina, and you'll be staying in Myrtle Beach for a few days. And then we'll head down to historic Charleston, into Savannah, Georgia, and we'll end the tour in Jacksonville, Florida. So, as I said, we fly into Charlotte, North Carolina, and here you'll spend your first night. So before leaving Charlotte, we learn a little bit more about the city during a guided city tour, seeing several historic buildings, and you'll get to see the best parts of Charlotte. After an included lunch, get an in-depth tour of the Nascar Hall of Fame. So this is a big hit for the men on tour, and also interesting for the ladies who are into racing and learning a little bit more about that. So here you'll get to explore exhibits with a private guide, and during the tour, you'll hear stories from behind the cars, drivers, and see the artifacts immortalized within the galleries. And you are free to continue exploring the museum before we depart to Myrtle Beach. Okay, so moving on, You'll wake up in beautiful Myrtle Beach, or as the locals like to say, the beach, a city and a vacation resort located on South Carolina's Atlantic coast. Here, along with warm southern hospitality, you can find a 60-mile string of beaches, which are great for walking in the mornings, taking in the beautiful sunrises. It's also known for its celebrity designed golf courses. So if you're into golfing, make sure to get out on one of the many courses during your free time. Begin your morning at leisure before having a high tea under the sea at Ripley's Aquarium. After your meal, venture around the aquarium and enter the underwater world of wonder. Step onto the moving pathways alongside sea turtles, sharks, eels, and barracudas, and beautiful exotic fish. Explore one of the newest attractions, which was under construction when I was there last year. So this is exciting, the Penguin Playhouse, where you can come face to face with these playful creatures with floor to ceiling viewing glass. You can also get up close and personal with some of the stingrays and jellyfish at the aquarium. This evening, you'll enjoy a lovely dinner at Original Benjamin's. And if you've never been to an Original Benjamin's, it's a seafood buffet that has something for everyone. I'm not big into seafood, but I did try some of the crab legs. So if you're into crab legs or seafood for that matter, there is plenty. They bring you crab legs just piled onto a plate. So it's really something if you're into that. So make sure you bring your stretchy pants that day. So they have a carving station, they have salads, and make sure you save room for dessert because they have a whole area set out for dessert. So you definitely don't go hungry when you go to Original Benjamin's. And after dinner, we get to enjoy a show at the Alabama Theater. So since 1993, the Alabama Theater has been entertaining locals and tourists with the grandest variety show on the Grand Strand. Get ready for toe-tapping beats, breathtaking acrobatics, and side-splitting comedy. And a little fun fact about the theater, and I'm sure many of you with us tonight know of country music stars Alabama. Well, they had the desire to return to their musical roots in Myrtle Beach, where they honed their impressive three-part harmonies while playing for tips at the Bowery, which is a local night. You might want to go check them out for dinner on a free evening and listen to some music. And that is how the Alabama Theater was born. So that's kind of fun. I grew up listening to Alabama, so I thought that was kind of neat when I visited there last year. Okay, so during your free time in Myrtle Beach, you will find no shortage of things to do. Enjoy a stroll along the beautiful beach. As I mentioned earlier, it sits on a 60-mile stretch of coastline. And the beach is beautiful. I walked it in the morning and it's just so peaceful. It's wide, it's easy walking, it's nice packed down sand. So there's no struggling there. It's beautiful, lots of seashells, birds, all that kind of stuff. So it's really nice to walk on. Or you can just sit back at the resort. As you can see in these photos, there's some beautiful, a little tropical oasis right at our hotel. And they have oceanfront whirlpools. So, in March, it might be a little cooler and you may not want to go for a dip in the pool, but make sure to bring your bathing suit so that you can have a nice relaxing sit in the whirlpool as you take in the beautiful ocean views. And like I said, make sure to get your tea times booked if you're a golfer. And one of the things that I thought was quite interesting was there are mini golf courses galore. It's just, there's so many. So if you're into mini golf, we're going to arrange a little tournament for the group. So that'll be fun. There's so many different courses. So that'll be a really fun evening to do. And for those who are looking for a little bit of more excitement and entertainment, you can visit Broadway on the Beach or Barefoot Landing. Barefoot Landing is fairly close to your hotel, and both places you'll be able to find lots of shopping, dining, and entertainment options. And your tour director will also help you make arrangements if you have other ideas in mind. Okay, so today we step on the charming paddle wheel style vessel, the Barefoot Queen, for a lunch cruise down the beautiful intercoastal waterways. The Barefoot Queen is an authentic wooden riverboat featuring interior and exterior decks, great for viewing and enjoying the fresh air. Onboard entertainment and narration are also included on the cruise. And after our cruise, we will uncork the sweeter side of Myrtle Beach during a wine tasting at the Duplin Winery, makers of America's favorite muscadine wine. And I must say their wine is very tasty. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, there's Dean and myself in the middle, and our tour guide was showing us around. She's from the tourist board. So she showed us around and we were able to do a wine tasting. And I must say, when you're there, you have to try their homemade crackers and cheese dip. It's made with their muscadine muscadine grapes and peppers. So it's kind of like a hot pepper jelly with the grapes, mixed with like a cream cheese. Very good. I definitely brought some of that home to mix with cream cheese to share here. Didn't last. So you'll be taken through the flavors and histories and jams and things like that that they have. Now, the day isn't over yet, so we still have more going on today. So we go for a dinner at a lovely restaurant before taking in a show at the Carolina Opry. So this was one of the first theaters, or was the first theater in Myrtle Beach, opening years and years ago, and it was the top attraction and still is in town. So Calvin Gilmore is the man behind the music. He had a vision of first-rate entertainment and how it could thrive on the Grand Strand. And here they are in their 32nd season, boasting over 9,000 performances. So enjoy the show featuring over 35 of the nation's most talented performers. So that'll be a nice evening of at the theater. So now we will be traveling from Myrtle Beach south towards Charleston, and we're going to visit the Boone Hall Plantation on the banks of the Wampachioon Creek. Boone Hall was founded in 1681 when Englishman Major John Boone came to Charleston and established a lucrative plantation and gracious home. In 1743, the son of the major planted the live oak trees in 2 evenly spaced rows. It took 2 centuries for those massive moss-draped trees to meet overhead, forming the natural corridor you see today, known as the Avenue of the Oaks. And you'll see that in the top right-hand corner. So the history of the plantation is important, and the differences in how the history is presented is very important. So we will explore the Gula culture with a unique presentation where that difference can be experienced firsthand. True descendants of the Gula people present the history of the culture through storytelling, song, and dance. And that is at times educational, at times entertaining, and at times very moving and emotional. So we tour the mansion, which you can see in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And interestingly, the mansion that exists today was built in 1936 by a Canadian ambassador, Thomas Stone, as part of the second wave of Reconstruction. So during your guided tour, you will be able to see how this Georgian designed home blends recovered materials and antique furnishings to recreate an atmosphere that would have surrounded a coastal Carolina planter's family and friends. And some of you may recognize this mansion from the movie The Notebook. You can also take a self-guided tour of the Black history in America .
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if Leanne is having some internet connection. Leanne, are you having some internet connections? I seem to be freezing. So I just kind of broke in here so that people do know that we are aware and to bear with us. The internet is unpredictable at times. So anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Leanne.
No problem at all. Are you able to hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. So I will just go back and talk about the Black History in America exhibit, just in case I cut out there. So discussions of slavery, as I mentioned, are difficult to talk about, but it's an important topic. And at Boone Hall Plantation, they believe that there is a responsibility to present the history of slavery in an accurate and educational manner, and in a way that pays honor and respect to the history and the progress of Black Americans. So this site features 9 historic dwellings that can be seen on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. They were built between 1790 and 1810 and preserved on the property. You will be able to see different aspects of daily life, how Black Americans worked and lived, struggles that were faced, as well as follow different periods of historical progression from the beginning of their arrival in America up until present day. And then you have a free afternoon to explore Charleston on your own. So a little bit more about Charleston. Charleston is a port city that was founded in 1670 and is defined by its cobblestone streets, horse-drawn carriages, and pastel antebellum houses, particularly in the elegant French Quarter and Battery districts. So enjoy a city tour here, exploring many landmarks such as the Old Exchange and Provost Dungeon, which is pictured in the top left-hand side of your screen, the Fireproof Building, Charleston Harbor, and so much more. Charleston is also one of the premier movie locations in the South. As I mentioned on the last slide, The Notebook was filmed at the Boone Hall Plantation, and some other notable movies filmed in the area are Cold Mountain with Nicole Kidman and Jude Law, Die Hard with a Vengeance with Bruce Willis, and so many others. Some of the more recent TV shows include Outer Banks and Southern Charm, actually, are filmed in the area. So that afternoon, after our city tour, you have the opportunity to have lunch on your own, and then we cross over to Charleston Harbor on the 3rd longest cable-stayed bridges in the Western Hemisphere, the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge, over to Patriots Point Naval and Maritime Museum. World War II aircraft carrier, the USS Yorktown, the USS Laffey destroyer, and the USS Clamagore, pictured in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. So you can walk out on deck amongst the aircraft, visit the control center as seen in the top right-hand corner and bottom left. Located inside the USS Yorktown is the Medal of Honor Museum with interactive exhibits that you can wander through on your own. You can explore the USS Laffey destroyer, the ship that would not die, and it is the most decorated World War II era US destroyer still in existence. So it's really fascinating to be able to walk through that. And if you're up for it, the climb down into the USS Clamagore Submarine, the only Guppy 3 submarine preserved in the US. So you can walk over to the submarine. It's a little bit of a hike over to get to it from the Laffey and the Yorktown, but I would recommend walking over there if you have a chance. You can see it outside of the water, and you can also climb down into it. I would only recommend going down into it if you're comfortable with tight quarters and steep stairs, but it is definitely something that you'll want to have a look at from the top anyway. So as we wrap up our time in Charleston and make our way into Savannah, we'll make a quick stop at the Charleston Tea Garden, located on historic Wadmalaw Island in Low Country, South Carolina. Enjoy views as we travel towards the tea gardens. Driving down the Maybank Highway is like stepping back in time. Wadmalaw has not allowed and cannot be commercially developed, and therefore much of the land remains untouched. The island provides the perfect environment for propagating tea with its sandy soil, subtropical climate, and the average rainfall of 52 inches per year. So you'll experience firsthand how tea is grown, harvested, and produced during an informative tour of the tea fields by trolley through the factory and a visit to the state-of-the-art greenhouse. And you may also wish to browse the gift shop, Bigelow tea brand is the only brand of tea in the world made with exclusively 100% tea grown in America. So if you're a tea drinker, this will be a really fascinating tour, and you'll also be able to stock up on tea to bring back to your friends and family or keep for yourself. Now we've arrived in Savannah, and our third state of the tour. And so we get to know Savannah on a historic trolley tour. So all aboard, let's get to know Savannah with a historic trolley tour. See the extraordinary architecture, lush botanicals, and captivating stories of the historic coastal city. For the first hour, you will enjoy commentary as you travel through the historic district of Savannah. After the guided tour, you will have hop on and hop off privileges on the trolleys for the rest of the day. So your hotel is a close walk to one of the stops, so you can take the day at a leisurely pace and explore Savannah on your own. Some of the stops that we've included admission for are the Ship of the Seas Maritime Museum and Garden, which exhibits ships, ship models, paintings, and marine antiques, principally from the great era of the Atlantic trade during the 18th and 19th centuries. And we also include the American Prohibition Museum, bringing the roaring 20s to life with over 20 intoxicating exhibits and authentic speakeasy. From gangsters to rum runners, learn about the infamous troublemakers of the 1920s and 1930s. And once you're done touring, sit down and enjoy a cocktail if you wish. So our next day, we drive a little ways out of the city of Savannah. And as you can see on the top left-hand side of your screen, the stunning live oak and Spanish moss-lined avenues welcome visitors to the Tybee ruins of Wormsloe State Historic Site. So Wormsloe was a colonial estate of noble Jones from 1702 until 1775. Jones was a humble carpenter who arrived in Georgia in 1733 with the first group of settlers from England. Wormsloe's Tybee ruins is one of the oldest standing structures in Savannah. The abundant cultural and natural resources have been and continue to be shaped by the influence of many inhabitants on the Isle of Hope through the centuries, including those of Native American, African, and European descent. Today, you can interact with historical interpreters during our visit the museum, and watch a short film about the site. An interpretive nature trail will lead you past the Tybee ruins along the marsh to the colonial life area. And after we leave Wormsloe, we'll head over to Tybee Island, which is a barrier island and small city near Savannah. It's also known for its wide sandy beaches in the island's north, which is where we will be spending most of our time. Fort Screven has 19th century concrete gun batteries and the Tybee Island Light Station and Museum, which we'll visit. The still functioning 18th century lighthouse has been rebuilt many times. It's Georgia's oldest and tallest lighthouse, standing at 145 feet tall. So you'll be able to climb up there and take in the views from the top of the lighthouse and explore the museum. And after, take some time to stroll along the quiet North Beach. It's a perfect location for shelling, dolphin spotting, and viewing the international container ships as they travel to and from the port of Savannah, which is one of the nation's busiest ports. Now, leaving Georgia and heading into our fourth state of the tour, you'll arrive in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the most populous cities in Florida. And here we'll acquaint ourselves with Jacksonville during a city tour, and then we'll make our way to Jacksonville Beach.
Sorry, everyone. Leanne seems to have frozen up again.
You may be surprised, Jackson.
Hi, Leanne. Sorry. I think you froze up again.
Hi, no worries.
Okay.
Okay. I'll start over here with Jacksonville. So as we leave Georgia, we travel to our fourth state of the tour, arriving in Jacksonville, the most populous city in Florida. And here we'll acquaint ourselves with Jacksonville during a city tour. And then we make our way over to Jacksonville Beach, away from the hustle and bustle of the big city, where our hotel is located for the next few nights. And you may be surprised to hear about the 1564 French colony that existed in Jacksonville during our city tour. And you'll listen to some stories about Andrew Jackson and the famous architects who descended upon the city after the Great Fire of 1901. You'll see historic houses with their varied architectural styles, the Veterans Memorial Wall, the Treaty Oak, and many more. And you can see some of those photos on your screen right now. So as we come to an end, we have one last day touring, and then you'll have some free time. So we travel to St. Augustine. It's a short drive from Jacksonville. And here you will board a trolley as our conductor narrates the history of St. Augustine, America's oldest city, with a fascinating and fun mix of trivia, humorous stories, and just exploring the little city there. So after the tour, you are free to explore on your own with a hop on and hop off trolley pass. So included attractions are the Old Jail Museum, the Oldest Store Museum Experience, Castillo di San Marcos, the St. Augustine History Museum, and there are so many other attractions that you can visit if you choose to do so. Some of them include the alligator farm, there's a chocolate factory, museums, and so much more. So you'll be able to take a leisurely pace around St. Augustine as well. Okay, so now as our time winds down, you have a free day to explore Jacksonville Beach, or just relax at the hotel, take a walk along the beach, or take an optional excursion. Now your tour director will be able to help you make arrangements for optional tours, but nearby attractions include airboat rides, dolphin and manatee boat tours, the Jacksonville Pier, the Beaches Museum and History Park, Kingsley Plantation, and Daytona Beach. They're a little further away, but a tour to see those. This evening, you'll have a farewell tour. So I will turn it back over to Cindy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Leanne. I know that the South is very special, and you know the squares of Savannah, Charleston, the history. I just love the South, and would love to get back there again soon. So anyway, I'd like
It's definitely a beautiful area.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is the ocean front and the beaches, and it has so much to offer. But I would like to, thank everybody for spending the evening with us, and we hope that you found the presentation informative. I hope that we didn't miss too much when our internet froze up on us, but by all means, we will be following up with an email in a couple of days that will have the link to the itinerary for this tour. And you can also visit us on our website at westworldtours.com. And for more information on this tour or any of our tours, and you can contact us by visiting again our website or sending us an email at information@westworldtours.com, and or visit your local travel agent. They'll be more than happy to assist you, and we can answer any questions that you have. And speaking of